Hey, what's good, guys? We are on the question set 48. So we are on still we are on the DBMS school. So let's read the first question. Change the first name of the fifth students on the student ID card to Amanda and make the relevant query. So this would be an update query. So let's write the query. So uh, the student ID, we had to change the first name to Amanda, who has the student ID as number 5. So that is the question. So we can say update um, student table we are working on, and it is set, and the column name, in this case first name, and the value would be Amanda, and we have to mention where the which row. So in this case the student ID is number 5, the row that has the student ID as number 5. And let's execute this query following the semicolon, and it says query okay, one row affected. And now let's go to the header scale. You guys can see it's still Almeida. Now let's refresh, and it has been changed to Amanda. Okay, so that's the answer for question 1. Now let's move on to the question 2. The second one is teacher ID 2. Then the first name of the teacher should be changed to Kamal, the last name to Senadira, the gender to male, the phone number to this one, and the email address to Kamal. Make a query for it. So we had to change the entire row. So first name Kamal, last name Sanadira, male. So let's take a look who is second, who's which teacher as the ID 2, Yumi. So we have to change whole scenario. Okay, so another update code, you can say update, it is from the teach table, set, you have to change the first name to Kamal, and the last name to say Nadira, and the gender to male, and the phone number, the contact number. Let's copy and paste it over here. And the email to kamal@gmail.com, and the condition I mean the row that we need to change is the row that has teacher ID as number 2. So it's teacher ID as number 2. Let's take a look. Let's check the syntaxes and the errors before executing the queries. If there is any error, let's check. uh, Gender, email, oh yeah, teacher age, we have to change, we don't have to change the teacher age. There could be a syntax error, and the whole work would be washed out. So let's take a look. Update teacher set, first name, okay, Kamal, last name, Senadina, gender male, contact number, email. Okay, I hope it's okay. Let's execute the query. Okay, it worked. Now let's refresh the table. You guys can see the view was the teacher ID 2. The row has the teacher ID as 2 has been completely changed, updated. Okay, now let's move on to the question 3. Search for one Rajapaksa teacher ID using the teacher table. Create the relevant query. So a search query in this case. So let's say select. We need the teacher ID from the teacher table, and the conditions are first name. First name would be what is the first name? Let's take a look. Ruan Rajapaksa. Okay, first name Ruan, and the last name. As you can see, the syntax errors, and the last name is going to be Rajapaksa, Rajapaksa or Rajapaksa, Rajapaksa. Okay, and let's execute this query. Okay, it shows the teacher ID. It gave us teacher ID. That's cool. Now we can move on to the fourth one. Find the teacher ID for the teachers who teach science. To do this, search for the teacher table, and the teacher has subject table. Create the required query. So in the teacher has subject table, you guys can see we have teacher ID. Also we have the subject ID. We can use a subquery to get the subject name, and by using the subject name we can search by the subject name. Sorry, we can use the subquery for the subject table. Using the subquery in the subject table, we can search by the subject name. So that's what I'm gonna do. So I can say select teacher ID from teacher has subject, where where teacher has subject, and this would be our subquery. So we can say select subject ID from subject table, where subject name is science, and let's execute the query following the semicolon and show us the teacher ID. It means the subjects for science with the teacher ID. So yeah, so that's the answer of question 4. Now we can move on to the question 5. Create a view named view subject with to view all the subjects. Use the subject table for that. So it is you can basically, this is basically for select all from subject table, and we have to make sure this as a make sure to keep this as a view. So we can say create view, and the view name, let's say table name. Let's say the table subject view s, and right after that we have to mention the query. So select all from subject, so query. Okay, Zero is affected. Let's go to the RICDH and let's refresh the database. And you guys can see the view has been created. So yeah, that's the answer for question 5. So this is pretty much for the question 48, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.